Have you ever wondered what secrets lie beneath the ocean's surface? Join us as we delve into the mysteries of sunken cities, exploring the real-life stories of lost civilizations and the enduring legend of Atlantis. Chapter 1: The Mysterious Depths. The ocean holds its breath. Beneath the waves, past coral gardens and forests of seaweed, the world changes. Light fades, color vanishes. Only darkness remains. But somewhere in that darkness, something waits. Not fish, not rock. Something older. A city. Stone towers swallowed by salt. Broken roads buried in sand. Walls where barnacles now sleep. People once lived here. They laughed. They loved. They built. Then one day, they were gone. This is not just one story. It is many. Across the world, whispers rise from the water. Whispers of cities lost beneath the waves. Some call it legend. Some call it truth. But everyone calls it Atlantis. The first to speak its name was a man named Plato, more than 2,000 years ago. He wrote of a mighty city, a shining place of gold and wisdom, a city of warriors, artists, thinkers, Atlantis. They were powerful, too powerful. So, the gods, angry at their pride, sent the sea to claim them. In a single day and night, the city sank beneath the ocean, never to be seen again. That was the story. But the world never stopped wondering. Could it be real? Could a great city truly vanish beneath the sea? And if Atlantis is just a myth, why do so many other cultures tell the same kind of tale? In India, they speak of Dwarka, a golden city swallowed by waves. In Japan, there is Yonaguni, where divers swim among stone shapes that look like stairs, streets, temples. In the Caribbean, there are stories of cities beneath the sand, where ghosts guard ancient treasure. It's not just one place. It's not just one people. The ocean hides stories from every land. What if the story of Atlantis isn't a single truth, but a pattern, a warning, a memory, a scar the earth can't quite forget? Some scientists say the stories come from real disasters, earthquakes, floods, volcanoes. They tell of cities built too close to the sea, of people who trusted the land until the land betrayed them. There is one place in Greece called Pavlopetri. It lies beneath shallow water near the shore. For years, no one knew it was there. Then one day, a diver noticed lines in the sand. Straight lines, too perfect to be natural. They followed the lines and found roads, homes, tombs, a city, 5,000 years old, sleeping under the sea. In Jamaica, there's Port Royal. It was once called the wickedest city in the world, full of pirates and gold. Then, in 1692, the ground shook. In minutes, buildings collapsed. The ocean swallowed half the city. Today, divers find wine bottles, anchors, and pieces of homes still standing beneath the waves. Time paused. The sea remembers. And so the pattern continues. City after city, pulled below. Some by storm, some by pride. Some by the slow rise of water, creeping up with every tide. But if the sea can take, it can also keep. It keeps secrets. And sometimes, it gives them back. That's why explorers still dive deep. That's why archaeologists scan the ocean floor with sonar and drones and underwater robots. Not just to find treasure, but to find stories. Each discovery tells us more about who we were, what we built, what we believed, and maybe what we lost. Some believe there are still cities waiting to be found, places no one has named, places we've only dreamed. Not every ruin has been mapped. Not every myth has been answered. The ocean is wide. Its depths are endless. But the deeper you dive, the closer you get to the past. And the past has things to say. This is a story about those things. About the cities that sleep beneath the waves. about the people who live there and the warnings they may have left behind, about what happens when we listen and what happens when we don't. Chapter 2: Ancient Legends and Whispers of Atlantis. Long before ships crossed oceans, people stared into the sea and wondered what lived beneath the waves, what stories slept in the dark. Sometimes the answer came in dreams, sometimes in warnings, sometimes in legends passed from parent to child, whispered like prayers. And always there were cities, sunken, shining, gone. Atlantis was the first to wear a name, a city of power and pride, a place where knowledge flowed like water, where temples touched the sky and gold lined the streets. Plato, the great philosopher, wrote of it over 2,000 years ago. He said Atlantis lay beyond the Pillars of Hercules, what we now call the Strait of Gibraltar. He said its armies grew too bold, its people too proud, and the gods, watching, sent the sea. In a single day and night, the land disappeared. Atlantis was no more. Many thought Plato had made it up, a warning tale, a symbol of what happens when hubris grows too loud. But others believed, still do, because the story of Atlantis doesn't stand alone. In ancient India, there was Dwarka, a golden city said to have belonged to Lord Krishna. It was beautiful, filled with palaces and gardens. But one day, the sea came for it, and Dwarka sank beneath the waves. For centuries, it lived in legend, until divers found ruins off India's coast. Straight roads, shaped stones, ancient walls. Had the sea hidden the truth in plain sight? Far to the east, off the coast of Japan, lies Yonaguni. There, beneath the water, are great stone shapes, steps that lead nowhere, walls that hold no roof, columns, angles, shadows. Some say it is natural rock. Others say it is a lost city, carved by hands long forgotten. The debate still stirs like the current, shifting, unclear, but the shapes remain, and they whisper. The Maya, too, told stories of cities swallowed by the sea. The Celts spoke of Yois, a glittering kingdom lost to the ocean's hunger. The Inuit told of islands that once stood tall, now gone without a trace. The Hawaiians spoke of Kanaloa, a hidden world beneath the sea, full of spirits, memory, and lost things. Different lands, different names, but the same shadow. A city too great, a storm too strong, a people who vanish. Not one story, but many. Too many to ignore. Why do these stories echo across time? Why do so many different people, in so many different places, tell the same tale? Maybe the earth remembers. Maybe water carries more than fish and salt. Maybe the sea is a storyteller. Some believe these myths began as real disasters. A tsunami here, a flood there, an earthquake that cracked the land like an egg. People fled, told stories to explain what they lost. Over time, those stories grew. Truth and wonder wove together, thread by thread, until legend was born. But myth is not the same as a lie. Myth, remembers, is what history forgets. Myth says, I don't know how it happened, but I know something did. And sometimes that something leaves clues. In the deserts of Egypt, old scrolls speak of cities now beneath the sand, once by the shore, now far from it. In the frozen north, glaciers retreat and reveal pieces of towns that once stood firm, now shattered by rising water. In Greece, in Italy, in the Caribbean, the land keeps changing. And when the land changes, stories rise. Stories like Atlantis. Stories that won't stay buried. Why do we keep returning to this myth? Why does it matter? Because Atlantis is more than a city. It's a mirror. It shows us our fear of losing what we've built. It shows us our pride and its cost. And it shows us the sea, patient, powerful, eternal. Atlantis is a warning, but it's also a promise that the past is never truly gone. Those pieces remain, and that is one day we might find them. The myth still lives, in books, in dreams, in art. Movies turn it into magic. Writers fill its halls with mystery. Children draw it in the margins of homework and maps. We haven't let it go, and maybe we shouldn't. Because every myth holds a key, a question, a chance to look back and forward. Chapter 3: Unveiling the Secrets of Real Sunken Cities. The sea does not forget. It covers, it buries, but deep below it remembers. And sometimes it lets us look. For centuries, the stories of sunken cities lived only in books and whispers. Tales of Atlantis, legends of golden temples beneath the waves. But then, the stories began to rise, not in dreams, in stone. It started with a discovery off the coast of Greece. A diver searching for sea urchins saw strange lines on the ocean floor. Not cracks, not coral, streets. He had found Pavlopetri, a city older than ancient Greece. More than 5,000 years old, it had homes, roads, courtyards, even tombs. Perfectly planned, perfectly preserved. Swallowed by the sea, hidden for thousands of years. Now, seen again. Not far away, near Egypt's coast, archaeologists found another, Heracleion. Once a mighty port city, now silent beneath the Nile's mouth. Statues taller than 2 men, gold coins, temples, all resting on the seafloor, forgotten by time. And in the Caribbean, off the coast of Jamaica, lies Port Royal, once called the wickedest city in the world. Pirates, merchants, gold. Then, in 1692, the ground shook. In minutes, the city slid into the sea. Houses sank whole, still holding plates and pillows. Now, divers swim past tilted doorways, touching a moment frozen in disaster. What causes cities to sink? The Earth answers in many ways. Earthquakes. When the ground splits, cities fall. Tsunamis. Walls of water taller than trees wipe entire towns away. Volcanoes. Ash darkens the sky. Land disappears beneath lava and sea. Rising oceans. Slow, silent, steady. Water creeping higher, year after year. The sea is not cruel, but it is powerful. And it never stops moving. Many of these cities weren't foolish. They were coastal, built for trade, fishing, worship. They lived beside the ocean because the ocean gave them life. Until one day, it took it back. But not all is lost. Today, explorers are finding what was thought gone forever. With sonar, they map the seafloor like it's paper. With underwater drones, they peer into caves no human can reach. With robot arms, they lift treasures from sand. And with 3D scans, they rebuild cities, not in stone, but in light. It's a quiet kind of magic. Not the magic of gods and storms, but the magic of discovery, of seeing the past with new eyes. Each broken wall, each carved statue, each clay pot tells a story. We were here. We lived. We mattered. And these stories aren't just about buildings. They're about people. A mother who lit a lamp in Heracleion. A boy who played by the sea in Pavlopetri. A pirate who laughed in a Port Royal tavern before the earth cracked. They are gone. But they left echoes, and the ocean held on to them. Even now, more cities wait. In the Bay of Cambay, off India's coast, strange shapes were found underwater. Grids, stones, patterns. Some say it's a lost city older than any known. Others say it's nature's trick. But the debate still burns, and the divers still go down. The truth is this: the sea holds more than we know, and we've only just begun to ask the right questions. Underwater archaeology is not easy. The currents pull, the salt eats metal, the pressure crushes. Every discovery is slow, careful, expensive, but the rewards are great. because every sunken city tells us something about who we were, and maybe who we still are. We build, we dream, we live close to beauty, and sometimes close to danger. We forget that nature always has the last word, but we also remember. We dive, we dig, we learn, and we listen to what the ocean has kept quiet for centuries. Chapter 4: The ongoing search for underwater treasures. The sea is wide, the sea is deep, and we have only touched its surface. For every city found, 100 still sleep. For every wall uncovered, 1,000 remain buried in sand. But we are still looking, and the search never stops. Across the globe, explorers rise before the sun, ready to dive. They carry cameras, not swords, ropes and drones, not treasure maps. They seek knowledge, not gold. But the treasures they find are just as priceless. In the Mediterranean, researchers scan the seafloor with sonar, painting maps with sound. In the Caribbean, teams guide robotic arms through broken courtyards and fallen pillars. In the Arctic, scientists drill through ice, chasing whispers of lost ships and frozen cities. Each expedition begins with a question: what happened here? And each answer brings more questions. We now use tools the ancients could never imagine. Submersibles that glide through black water like sea creatures. LiDAR and photogrammetry that build cities in 3D from fragments and shadows. AI software that scans thousands of miles of seabed in hours. We see what the ocean tried to hide. But no machine replaces wonder. That still belongs to us. To the diver who sees a carved statue appear from silt. To the archaeologist who holds a cup last touched 3,000 years ago. To the child who watches grainy footage of ruins and whispers. I want to find one. Some projects chase myths, others chase science, but both believe in the same thing: that beneath the sea lie stories worth finding. In Greece, near the island of Delos, divers search for temples swallowed by tides. In Egypt, along the coast, they hunt for sunken ports, once filled with ships, now scattered across the sand. In the Bahamas, strange rock formations spark debate. Are they roads built by hands, or tricks of the earth? The line between myth and reality blurs. But still, we look, and we're just getting started. In the future, we may send swarms of underwater drones to explore trenches a mile deep. We may scan entire coastlines in a single day. We may one day uncover an ancient city so complete, so untouched, that it rewrites what we know about the past. But why does it matter? Why keep diving? Why risk storms, darkness, pressure? Because beneath every discovery is something greater than stone. A connection to who we were, to how we lived, to what we lost. Sunken cities aren't just broken buildings. They're time capsules. They hold stories of people like us. A woman placing her child to bed as the ground begins to shake. A fisherman pulling in nets, unaware of the wave rushing toward shore. A sculptor carving a face into stone, never knowing it will someday sleep in salt water. Their stories ended, but our search keeps them alive. Each expedition is a conversation across centuries. The past leaves pieces, the present asks questions, and the ocean holds the answers. But the sea does not give easily. Underwater archaeology is slow, careful work. It demands patience, precision, respect. A careless move can shatter a relic. A wrong current can erase a site in seconds. The ocean tests our curiosity. Only the gentle are welcome. Even today, politics and funding limit where we can dig. Many ruins lie in protected zones. Others wait in war-torn waters, unapproachable for now. But someday, the sea will quiet, and we will return. Because we always do. Some ask, will we ever find Atlantis? maybe not. Maybe Atlantis was never a single place. Maybe it was many cities, scattered, lost, broken. Maybe it was an idea, a warning, a dream. But in searching for it, we found something just as powerful. Ourselves. The desire to know. The hunger to understand. The courage to look deeper. Whether it's a ruined temple in India's shallows, a broken gate beneath the Adriatic Sea, or a single clay bowl buried in Caribbean silt. Each find is a piece of us, returned, and there is more waiting, beneath coral, beneath storms, beneath centuries of silence. The sea watches, the sea waits, and we are not done searching. Chapter 5, a final dive into the mysteries. The ocean is still, but it is never silent. It whispers through waves. It hums beneath the surface. It carries the weight of time in every tide. And if you listen closely, truly listen, you'll hear the voices it keeps. Not voices of fish, not the echo of whales, but the voices of cities. They don't shout. They don't cry. They remember. Walls once bright with paint. Rooms full of laughter. Temples with prayers carved into stone. All of it, now quiet. All of it, still there, just beneath the blue. This is the heart of the story. Not that cities sank, but that we are still listening. From Atlantis to Pavlopetri, from Heracleion to Port Royal, from myths carved in temple walls to sonar scans on laptops. The message has always been the same. Look deeper. We search the ocean not just to find lost cities, but to understand what they meant. Who built them? Why did they fall? What did they believe? What did they leave behind? Each answer is a gift. Each mystery, a mirror. Because when we look down into the sea, we're really looking back and forward and inward. We remember that time is not a straight line, that everything we build stands on stories that came before. These cities beneath the waves, they are not ruins. They are reminders. They remind us that nature is powerful, that change is constant, that pride can sink even the strongest walls, that beauty can survive even in silence. And they remind us to pay attention, to rising seas, to shifting ground, to the whispers of the earth. We are not separate from the past. We carry it in our buildings, our languages, our bones. The cities that sleep beneath the sea were once as real as ours. And one day, someone may dive through what we leave behind. What will they find? The search for lost cities is not just about archaeology. It's about curiosity, imagination, responsibility. It's about asking questions even when the answers are buried. And that's something we can all do. You don't need a wetsuit or a drone. You don't need a research boat or a science degree. You just need wonder. Wonder is where every journey begins. It's the spark behind every dive, every question, every dream. So ask the ocean, ask the stories, ask yourself, what lies beneath the surface of the world? What secrets wait just out of view? What might we find if we're brave enough to look? The ocean is full of mysteries, but it's also full of answers. Some float up in broken pottery. Some rest in statues with eyes worn smooth by time. Some come in the stillness between waves, and some come in you, when you ask what matters, when you look closer, when you carry these stories forward. Maybe we will never find Atlantis, maybe it never existed. But in searching for it, we found something just as important. Connection to the people of the past, to the earth beneath us, to the water that carries our history. We are all part of this story, this endless, beautiful, fragile story of building, falling, and remembering. So the next time you see the sea, stop, watch it move, listen to the hush of its breath, Know that somewhere below, stone walls sleep. Old cities wait, and the past is never as far away as it seems, because the ocean does not forget. It forgives. It folds history into waves, and then, when we are ready, it offers it back. Do you believe our choices shape our future, or is everything already written in the stars? Tell us what you think in the comments.